Hey, it's Rachel, and I want to share a couple of tips with you. If your children don't listen to you the first time you ask them to do something, if it takes 4 or 5 times of you nagging them to do something, or if it takes you yelling or threatening to take away everything that they care about, I want to give you some things to think about. Now, you may or may not know this, but before I actually worked with parents in the way that I do now, I used to go into people's homes and do observations about how parents were talking to their children and I made suggestions for what they could do to get their kids to listen more. And I want to give you the top 2 tips that I used to have to give to parents over and over about how to get your kids to listen better to you. And the first tip is that I used to tell parents all the time, your kids aren't taking you seriously enough because you're not showing them that you're serious when you ask them to do something. So for example, if you ask your kids to unload the dishwasher and then you go off and they don't unload the dishwasher right away, well, you've gone off and they think that they can get away with not unloading the dishwasher. Really what we have to do is we have to show them that we mean what we say by asking them to do something and then really paying attention to make sure they do it when we ask them to do it. So if they haven't unloaded the dishwasher, we go back and we say, I asked you to unload the dishwasher, and we show them that we're serious about what we say. Often, when we have to ask them 4 or 5 times to do things, they've learned that they don't have to do things until the 4th or 5th time that we ask. If you want them to take you seriously, you have to show them that you are serious when you ask them to do something. So often that means you have to stop what you're doing. That's how you show them you mean what you say. Stop what you're doing, go over and make sure they're doing what you ask. But the second piece of this isn't just to go over and yell at them and show them that you mean what you say. The second part of this is actually being on the same side versus against them. So when you do approach them, if you're approaching them because you're angry and frustrated because they didn't listen to you the first time, if you're approaching them with that anger and frustration, do you think they're all of a sudden going to want to do what you ask them to do? I mean, think about it. If someone is approaching you with judgment and frustration and anger, that doesn't make you want to all of a sudden do what they ask. So you need to show them that you're serious, but you want to do it in a way that also demonstrates that you're on their side. So when you go over them to make sure that they unloaded the dishwasher, you could say something like, oh, I see you haven't started. You probably really don't want to do this. And I don't blame you. You still do need to do it though. So, you encourage them at that moment. And sometimes you may need to give them tools to be able to do uncomfortable and boring things. But basically you're showing them that you are on their side. You're helping them meet the boundary or rule that you've set. You're not angry because they haven't met it. You're showing them how to do it. And you're really acting like you are on the same side. Now, one of the things that may help you with this is just to remind you that children's agendas are different than yours. They don't necessarily want to unload the dishwasher. You don't necessarily want to get mad at them for that. You want to help them do the things that they don't want to do. And that's a really good way to show them that you're on their side rather than against them. So again, if you want your kids to listen, A, you need to show them that you are serious, that you mean what you say, and B, you want to approach them as someone who's on their side rather than against them. So I hope that gives you some ideas for how to get your kids to listen a little bit better. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at rachel@bailey.com, or always you can check out my parenting academy at rachelbaileyparentingacademy.com, where I will give you solutions for motivating better behavior in your kids, but also support for you to help you find the time and energy to actually implement those solutions. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.